I've fact-checked hundreds of political ads in my career, and there's one main thing people always seem to want to know.
Is it legit?
So that's what we're about to answer for you in the fight between these two guys. They're in a $6 million race that could determine which party controls Congress. On the right, Republican Congressman Jeff Denham. On the left, Democratic challenger Josh Harder. We'll start with one of his ads, tooting his own horn.
If a corporation wants to donate to my campaign, I say thanks, but no thanks. I'm not taking corporate PAC money because special interests always want something in return.
Is it legit? No, because he's using misdirection. Sure, Josh Harder isn't taking corporate PAC money directly, but plenty of money is flowing to his campaign from big companies. Federal campaign records show Harder's campaign took money from 36 different PACs and other outside spending groups. Some of them you might even call special interests. Let's look closer at one that's got a fun name, PAC to the Future. PAC to the Future took money from a few corporations you would recognize. Well, maybe more than a few. Okay, it took money from a lot of big companies. The point, Harder's not taking corporate PAC money, but he is taking PAC money that comes from corporations, so potato, potato. He's also got other PACs helping him out with ads.
House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This outside group is helping Harder by attacking Denham.
Pre-existing condition is important to both parties. It is something that is a must for me to keep in, for me to support the Affordable Care Act.
But just days later, Jeff Denham broke his word, voting to end protections for his constituents with pre-existing conditions.
Is it legit? Yes. This is a fair line of attack against Denham. Last year, the GOP tried to partially repeal Obamacare. The bill failed, but Jeff Denham did vote for it. The version of the bill they're talking about wouldn't have let insurers turn people away for pre-existing conditions, but it did contain a way for insurance companies to charge you more if you have one. On tape, he said the ACA protections were a must, but the bill didn't keep those protections intact. Now let's have a look at Denham's side.
Bay Area liberal Josh Harder.
That label's partly legit. If it matters to you at all, Harder grew up in the Central Valley but spent years of his career in the Bay Area. Anyhow, they say he
supports taxpayer-funded abortions through the 9th month. Watch for yourself.
Pro-choice full-bank terms?
Yes.
No exceptions?
No exceptions.
Is it legit? Yes. Josh Harder actually gave that answer to a voter. His campaign doesn't dispute that, but now says he misunderstood the question. The voter did use odd wording, but it's clear that the question was whether Harder supports legal abortion taking place at any point in a pregnancy. Now, the Harder campaign is trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube, saying he meant he supports existing California law, which only allows abortions into the second trimester. But the tape of him giving a different answer to a smaller group of people is still fair game. It's legit to use that clip in the ad.
Harder endorsed Jerry Brown's disastrous high-speed rail plan, costing taxpayers more than $70 billion and putting us nearly $10 billion in debt.
Is it legit? Yeah, not completely, no. This attack is missing context. It's true Harder supported high-speed rail, he still does, but the ad is using because they hoping that you're too stupid to figure out what the numbers really are. You need to know that $10 billion of debt, it's not a surprise. It was right there in your voter guide 10 years ago, which also told you that the $10 billion wouldn't be enough to actually build the railroad. Because guess what? Trains are expensive. Voters knew that, and yet 53% of them said yes. That $77 billion figure, that's the new projected cost. Back when we voted on all this, opponents warned it could end up costing more than that. And guess what? In the end, it might. Look, it's fine to point out that Harder was pro-train, but the way this ad does that, not legit. Neither side comes out of this thing squeaky clean, but unfortunately, politics ain't always a clean sport. Which is why we ask,
Is it legit?